homes are selling at their fastest rate all time, according to our good friends
at Zillow. It's interesting though, all times, like since Zillow's been around?
Yeah, they say right now homes are typically selling just 20 days after hitting the market. That's according to a weekly market survey, which was published last week by Zillow.
You know who I feel bad for are those people that have been on the market like for 4 years.
It's the shortest span ever recorded by the real estate based, the Seattle based rather real estate tech company. Mm-hmm. So for as long as they've been around, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and really you wouldn't have much data on this before the year 2000, before MLSs were online. Because
everything was on those books, like everyone got like a real estate book and all. Yeah.
You'd really have to do a lot of handwritten graphs back in the day.
Well, and to be honest, I mean, 20 days was probably nearly impossible back then, right? Because people had to get in, you had to find the book, you had to look through the book.
Jeff Tucker, Zillow economist, says as surprising as it may have seemed at the time, sellers who forged ahead with listing their homes this spring were richly rewarded when buyers buoyed. What is that word there?
Buoyed?
Buoyed. Sorry, guys, I can't read. Buoyed by record low mortgage rates, flooded their listings with offers. That's what we're experiencing here locally in Connecticut. Is there are, because we're bordering New York City. Everybody knows what happened in New York City with the health crisis. We're seeing a flood.
And Boston too. We can't ignore Boston. Boston's close enough to us too.
I just haven't seen a lot of Boston buyers down here at all, but I've definitely seen New Yorkers.
Yes.
And our tax migration map proves that out. New York counties are the people buying over here in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. We've got that. They reference in here the huge millennial first-time home buying wave is still cresting, pushing demand above what's still very limited supply. We're also seeing that because of the health crisis. Mm-hmm. People want to stay in their beautiful homes. They're not interested in moving or selling right now. So you have multiple offers happening at scale. They were predicting already that 2020, 2021, before any of this stuff happened, this was going to be the hottest millennial market ever. Now for us, like locally, you got the New Yorkers, and I know other people in different parts of the country are experiencing that. If they're in a more suburb or a more rural area like we are on the Connecticut shoreline, they're experiencing people coming from the cities wanting out of vertical living and buying a house with a yard. So,
well, absolutely. Well, especially now too, so many of those millennial buyers are now able to work from home and they don't have to go into, I mean, it's not even a matter of them necessarily wanting to stay in their apartments or not. It's that they don't have to stay in the cities anymore in order to work.
Do you think any of this is also due to like interest rates are extremely low right now, and then we have something big coming up at the end of the year, and there's so much uncertainty going into 2021 with everything in the world, like just everything's uncertain.
Yep.
So do you think that's also like, we just got to get this done finally?
I don't know the answer to that, because I feel like, so to be honest, I mean, I feel like we've had these conversations before about, oh my goodness, interest rates are so low, right? So I don't know that, granted, this is extremely low, but I don't ever feel like when you talk about the interest rates, it ever really gets those millennials like off the fence.
There's a headline I saw on Inman today. I didn't read it. I will read it later, but it said less than 3% interest rates, which we're seeing right now, people locking in at under 3, could actually be bad for the market. I don't know which angle they're taking, but interesting enough.
I'd be interested in reading what their
haven't heard
hypothesis
that
on
angle.
that.
Certainly is pushing, and maybe that's where they're going to go. Maybe it's pushing up sale prices too much, which is not sustainable.
Well, and again, I mean, I think we've talked about this before. I mean, and I tell a lot of my buyers, you can't necessarily look at the purchase price. You have to look at your monthly expense. So that's true. I mean, obviously, a lot of buyers are pushing the envelope now because the money is still so cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were buying something last year, you're talking about hundreds of dollars more that they would have spent on the same house. So I guess I can see what they're saying there. It's interesting though, because I would think, because millennials in my mind, unless they're having families and children, like I think that would probably spur a big push to get something over with. But I feel like a lot of them, I would think, would sort of put the brakes on, because then they could maybe think that they were getting a deal next year where they're, maybe
I've
not
heard some
getting
of that.
one.
A lot of people have asked me even this past weekend, should I wait?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen next year? Can't see past November, guys.
Oh my God, there's no way. And that's the hardest part of this job right now. And that part is so exhausting, because you can't give anybody an answer. I mean, let alone the right answer. I mean, you can really only look at is right now.
Is what we've been doing is keep educating them on the market right now, educate them on the past, look at where sale prices are, where they have come from, what type of inventory there is, what type of pending sales, the history on that.
Right.
And that's what every agent should be doing. So good article, Patrick Kearns, Inman, we'll link that up.